Hey, hey, hey. Time for another out of this world story from rSpace. Today we have some relationship advice stories. First up, found out I have cancer and that my girlfriend is cheating on me the same day. Me, 25 male, and my girlfriend, 25 female, have been dating for 6 years. We started dating in college and have been together ever since. I am in medical school while she works full time. I just moved in with her at the start of the semester. Today, I went to the doctors and found out I have stage 2 malignant melanoma and will require surgery and other treatment. I had work after the appointment, and I usually stop by the church that's right across the street from the apartment on the way home. They have a community garden, and I stop by at night to smoke a cigar on the weekends and look at the nice flowers. I saw her male co-worker's car in the parking lot, and they had the interior lights on while they were having sex. I just left immediately, crying in my car as I went home. I was devastated, and when she came home, I told her about the cancer, and she cried saying she hopes that I'm okay. But when she hugged me, I felt nothing. No love anymore. I never imagined it would be like this. She has no idea that I know. I already started looking for apartments. How do I confront her? How does one heal from an experience like this? First reaction from MM172. I already started looking for apartments. I know it's not much comfort, but the fact that you have the presence of mind to do that despite everything that's going on is impressive. Focus on that. Get the stuff you need together, line up a support network of friends and family. Or, if you don't have one, talk to your doctors and your school about what kind of resources they have that can help. And when you're ready to leave, or before that, if you don't feel like you can keep it in, tell her you know, it's over, and walk out. Or just leave a note to that effect. If you'd rather, I don't think you owe her a face-to-face conversation if you don't feel like you can handle that. One other comment from Majestic Walrus 5283. A few months back, I found out that I had cancer, and for me, they caught it early enough. I called my fiance and told her the report. She ended up making it all about herself and started to tell me all the reasons my family shouldn't be around me during this time. I knew that she wasn't right for me, but after getting the diagnosis, it was the jolt that I needed to take a stand for in my life and what I was willing to accept. You walking away from her is the first step. You're about to find more strength than you ever realized you had, and at times it goes to be very tough and overwhelming on so many levels. Stand strong, fight like hell, and realize that your life and the people that you allow in it are a gift. Next story. I, 29 male, want to divorce my suicidal and BPD wife, 27 female. I have been with her for 7 years and I just can't take it anymore. She refuses to work or do the kitchen or anything and will just talk about killing herself. I have tried everything. I let her vent. I listened to her problems. I worked my ass off so we could move out and live together because staying with either of our parents depressed her. She got therapy, she got medication, she got everything, and nothing worked. She just seems content to playing video games, watching movies, and talking about how miserable she is. I have to beg and plead with her just to do basic things like going to the gym together or cleaning the house or anything at all. I used to love her so much and thought I could lift her up and get her to be happy with herself, but it's clear I was just a fool that was played. Now I am just miserable working long hours, coming to a dirty place, having to cook for both of us, and then listening to her talk about how miserable her life is. God freaking dang, guys. I'm so depressed and defeated. I wish I never married this life-sucking banshee. I want to divorce her, but I feel like the moment I tell her, she will try to kill herself or me both. I'm debating whether or not I can just drop her off at her parents', tell her I want a divorce, and drive off. Please help me. Is this even something I can do? I'm just so lost. She drains me of life and everything I miss being alone. Burner for obvious reasons. First comment comes from Taylor Covett. I have BPD. I've been in therapy for 7-ish years now and have tried a handful of medications. I was diagnosed by a mental health professional. In my experience, the best thing you can do for her is leave. I was absolutely toxic in relationships. I've been single for over 2 years now and have never been in a better place. I've learned to manage my own crap, be okay with being alone, and made strides in managing my emotions. Only when I no longer had a safety net, and you're hers, did I realize I had to figure this out for myself. I've noticed some people crapping on you for wanting to leave. I 100% don't think it's fair of them. Dealing with someone else's mental health is a terribly draining task, especially when it's been years and they don't seem to want to get better. Talk to a lawyer and maybe a BPD specialist on the safest way to go about leaving, then start putting your plan in action. Next comment from Lexi D. ACNH. If you feel like you're in danger, your best bet is to tell her with someone else around. most likely a trusted friend, and let them know of the situation beforehand. Leaving does seem like your best option, and doing it at her parents' house and driving off sounds like a bad idea, which could lead her to worse things than if you were just to tell her why you feel this way and let her know you're fully done. The OP responds, I would tell her, but anytime I try and talk about our problems, she just withdraws and ignores me or manipulates me until I give in to her and accept fault for being mean to her or threatens to kill herself. Lexi D. ACNH again says, well, that's also where the third party comes in. Having someone else there, you'll be less likely to back down and decide against it, since you'd be making someone go out of their way to help you and not follow through. Also, you have to realize that her well-being isn't your responsibility, and if she did end up doing something, it's not your fault. The next time you do it, I'd just tell her what you have to say, and if she threatens suicide, call the police and tell them that your wife is threatening to commit suicide. They'll take her to get the help she so obviously needs, and she'll know exactly how you feel and that you're done. Hopefully this helps. Last comment coming from Seaworthiness Icy 3600. My second wife was BPD, also had PTSD from multiple molestations and assaults in her early life. Similar story. Therapy, drugs, years of me supporting her, and trying to see through the pain and conflict to look for the light at the end of the tunnel. I had terrible guilt from not being able to help her. She finally attempted suicide. Thank God she didn't succeed. After that, she was homeless for most of a year. Her family tried to help her during this time, but she alienated them, truly hitting rock bottom. 2 years after the suicide attempt, she finally started climbing out of the hole. She's doing much better now. She can hold a job. She can take care of herself. She still has plenty of problems, but hitting rock bottom was the only thing she was able to snap out of. Good luck. One more story for the episode. Should I break up with my girlfriend of 5 years? To whoever may come across this. Me and my girlfriend are high school sweethearts. We've been together since 2016, and we've been living together for a bit more than a year. I consider her to be my best friend, and we have been for like 7 years. She was never super loving or physical, but lately it's been so apparent to me that she's uncomfortable with me in some way or another. I keep saying to myself that it's because she's a workaholic, since she's always in school or work, never taking time for herself. But even then, she should show affection sometime, no? Our 5-year anniversary was around 6 days ago, and the day after we were arguing already. She never kisses me. I always kiss her, and she barely puts in any effort. Same with hugging, flirting, sometimes cuddling, and affectionate crap like that. Sometimes when we talk, I feel she's with me out of necessity, and not because she loves me. Can't believe I'm gonna type this and post it, but even with sex, I've never pushed myself on her and never will, and I say that because I always feel like I'm not enough in those situations. She never gets wet. She says it's too painful. She says I'm too big. Sure thing. But surely something I do would turn her on in some way, right? Or is it just that I'm not enough? That she just doesn't feel anything for me and is simply uninterested in me? Should I break up with her? I don't want to lose my best friend, but I don't want to waste either of our times. Edit. I have tried to talk to her about this before. It always ends up in her being defensive or us crying because we don't want to break up. It's very hard to navigate this since I don't want the conversation to feel like I'm blaming her for something we don't know might be her fault or not. Edit 2. Emotional support. She has been there emotionally for me in the past, but recently she's somewhat neglected me in that sense. I'll tell her I feel I might be depressed or alone, and she seems to brush it off or simply say she's there for me. I got her out of an abusive relationship with her mom, and whenever she needs me, I'm more than happy to drop anything I'm doing and simply be there. I don't want her to pay that back. I'm glad I helped. I simply ask for compassion in any way. If you read this and have questions, ask. I'll try to respond. First response comes from Blade982. Tell her everything you've wrote in this post. If you can't bring yourself to say it, then write it down for her to read. Be honest. From what you say, something does sound very wrong, and it's far better to end it now than when true resentment creeps in. Withdrawal of affection usually signifies that someone has checked out of the relationship but hasn't found the courage to end it. OP responds, if you're right, she's always been upfront about what she thinks, so why change now? I'd rather her be honest, you know? I guess it's just up to me now. TruthCloud10 has our next comment. From experience, I can tell you, it might not even be you. It might be something with her. Maybe at a young age, she didn't receive affection, so she doesn't know how to give it now. Maybe she has mental blocks or emotions she's never dealt with. Maybe she doesn't know how to process emotions well, so she doesn't know any. Truthfully, communicating with her is the best option to see where her head is at. Don't blame yourself. You're always enough. Last comment coming from Banana Iced Tea. Okay, this may not be a popular opinion, but here's what I think. If you started dating in high school and are still together after 5 years, she may feel that she is missing out. Most of my friends' relationships, which started really young, did not make it after 6 or 7 years because, at this point, people start to realize that they are still young and have the last chance to experience something different. And I don't mean only romantically wise, I also mean the need to be single. This may sound harsh, but have you considered that she may be simply bored of you? It could explain the lack of affection. On the other hand, she is safe and stable with you and always has company. Therefore, she doesn't really want to leave. She may not even realize it. I would advise what others said. Talk to her, or write her what you said here, and try to figure out where she stands. Sometimes people get tired and need a break from each other, especially if they started dating so early.